Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're just doing a creative eyeshadow look. So we're just starting off by brushing the brows. And then we're just going in with the Pears soap bar and some setting spray, and we're just going to do soap brows. You just want to mix that spoolie onto the soap to pick up as much product as possible. And then we're just brushing this through the brows like we would if we were gluing our brows down. As I'm doing this, I'm just pushing my fingers down onto my brows to make sure that they stick flat to my face, as that's the kind of look we want to achieve with soap brows. And then I'm just applying the Rituals SPF moisturiser for a base. I like to get a lot of product on there just so that we can really rub it into the skin and keep it hydrated underneath the makeup. And then we are going in with the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, and this is like a clear blue gel, so I'm just applying this all over my face again and rubbing this in like I did with the moisturiser. Primer is a really important step if you really want your makeup to last throughout the day. And then moving back onto the brows, I'm just going in with the NYX Lift and Snatch Professional Makeup eyebrow tint pen, and this just draws really fine lines, just like an eyeliner brush. I really like how this goes on, and I just draw in those hairs where I need them. You can't really go too heavy-handed with this pen, as only as much liquid as the nib at the end will hold will come out, so it's not like a crayon where if you push too hard it will be too dark. It just comes out as it is. And these are the finished brows. They look crazy, as you can tell, but I promise they'll fit in once we have more makeup on the face. And then I'm just using the Jeffree Star Magic Star Concealer, and as always this is in the shade C1 as I'm very pale. I also really love the applicator on this, so I just wanted to show you that. And we're just going in with this to prime the eyelids ready for eyeshadow, and I also like to go around the base of the eye a little bit just in case we bring the eyeshadow a bit further down from the eye. And I'm just blending that in with a really dense concealer brush, and this is from the Morphe James Charles collection. Normally I would go in with a concealer brush under the brows as well just to carve them out, but today I'm going for more of a fluffy brow onto the eyelid just so that it blends well together with the eyeshadow rather than separates it from the eye. And then for eyeshadow I'm just using the Carnival 3 Be Perfect palette. We're just starting out with this light purple shade, and this shade is called Tahiti. And I'm just using a fluffy brush to blend that into my outer crease, and we're using this as sort of a transition shade just to build up the purple before we go in with the deeper shades. As we go along, we're just going to keep adding more of the same coloured product to the eye till we get the desired colour that we want. And we're just going to replicate each step onto the other eye as we go along. And then we're just going in with a pink, and this shade I believe is called Pink Lily. And then this colour is going to be going on the inner corner of the crease, and we're just going to blend those two shades together nicely before we build them up. We're also just trying to leave the eyelid as free as possible as we're going to go in with a shimmer later on. And you just have to be quite patient because you have to be consistent with the blending with a bright eyeshadow look like this, otherwise it's just going to turn out all blocky and you're not going to achieve the look that you want. And then we're just going to go in with a mix of the shades Fruity and Blackberry in the purple area just to build that colour up and create more depth to the crease. And it's always helpful to just tap your brush off if you pick up too much product before putting it onto the eye. Just keep blending, we'll get there eventually. And then I'm just using some darker shades of pink to build up the pink area as well. Can't tell you the names of the shades because I didn't include it in the video, so I don't know. And throughout this, you always want to make sure that the very edge of the eyeshadow is completely blended seamlessly into the skin colour. And now we're just using the Magic Star Concealer again and a flat brush just to cut the crease of the eyeshadow. It can seem a bit daunting to cut a crease, as I know it's a big step in makeup, but if you follow along exactly as I've done, it's actually pretty self-explanatory. You just curve out the eyelid up to the crease with a sharp, crisp concealer and blend it along. To blend the very edge of that concealer, I'm just taking the same purple and pink shades that we used on the eye and blending them onto the very edge of it. Cut creases can be quite easy on more open and wide eyes as the crease line's already cut out for you, whereas on hooded eyes it may be more difficult as you may have to go over the fold of your eye for it to be able to be seen when your eyes are open. And again, we're just taking that colour onto the concealer. And then for the shimmer, I'm just taking the Makeup Academy Neutrals palette and this shimmery shade, which is so vibrant, I love it. And then I'm just using the same flat brush that we used for the cut crease to smudge the shimmer over the eyelid in the area that we highlighted with concealer already. And as I go through these steps, I just continuously keep applying the softened colours to the edge of the cut crease. Blending onto the edge really helps to give a more layered look to the cut crease so that it looks like the shimmer is buried under the colours rather than placed on the top. And this is the finished eyeshadow on the top of the lids. And I'm just going in with the CC Beauty white colour to put into my waterline, and I start by doing this by dragging my cheek down, which pulls the lower lash line down, and I just dab this into my eyeline. For this, I normally do prefer to use my Made by Mitchell curve case, but it was in my client kit and I couldn't be bothered to get it out for this makeup. And then we're just curling the lashes, and I just like to pulse the curler on each eyelash, and I just switch from left to right over till I get as much curl as I want. And then for lashes, I'm just using the MAC Stack mascara. Moving back to skin, I'm just going in with the Ordinary Colours foundation, and this is in the shade 1.0N, which I'm assuming is neutral. And I just squirt this onto my skin because it's easier than getting the back of my hand messy. And then I just take this really big fluffy brush from Morphe, again the James Charles collection, and I just buff that into my skin. And then we're just going to add some colour to the face, so I'm using the BFF Pink Honey Face Frosting in the shade Fudge Glaze. And then I like to use this little Studio London contour brush. And we're just working this into the cheeks and onto the temple areas of the forehead. And then I just use the same brush and brush a little bit onto my nose as well. And then we're just going to set that cream bronzer with the Beauty Bay bronzer, and this is in the shade Fawn. And I'm basically just going back over the same areas with the powder to make sure that the cream stays in place. And for the third time this video, we're using the Magic Star Concealer, and I just put this under my eyes, on the outer corner of my eyes to wing them out slightly, and all on the centre points of my face, so my chin, my upper lip, my nose and my forehead. And we're just going to use this little tiny sponge to blend it all in. For blush, I'm just using the Revolution Cheeky palette, and I use quite a dark pink shade for this, and I added a bit too much here, but we just blend that into the cheeks. And I'm just using my big foundation brush to blend the blush back into the skin where I went a bit too harsh. And we're just going to take a translucent powder, this is the Revolution one, and I'm just powdering under my eyes and on all the areas that I concealed a second ago. And then I'm just using the Revolution Baked Highlighter, and this is in the shade Golden Light. I'm just using this Morphe fluffy brush, and we just blend that onto the cheeks, into the underbrows, and use my finger to go in slightly on the nose as well. And then to bring the skin together with the eyeshadow, I'm just going in with the under eyeshadow, and we're just using the same pink and purple shades and just blending them into the under eye. We're not taking this too far down because we don't want it to drag the eye down, but we just want a little pop of colour under there. For lips, I'm just using this MAC lip liner. This is in the shade Soar, and it's just like a nudie pink lip. And I just outline my lips as they are. I overline slightly, but not too much, where there's a method to it. I just slightly go over the lines. And then over top of that lip liner, we're just using this MAC lipstick in the shade Runway Hit. And I'm just using the Morphe Luminous Setting Spray to lock this in. This is more of a mist rather than a spray, and it goes really nicely on the skin. And then before we finished, I realised I'd forgotten bottom lash mascara, so we're just using that MAC Stack mascara again and fixing our mistakes. This is the finished makeup. I hope you enjoyed watching or learnt something. I'm going to show you a little clip at the end, and all my socials will be linked below.